So if you look at the title, you'll know I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one.
As a game design major, something important and fascinating to me is the clockwork and inner workings of games. How they function, what makes them successful or not, and especially what makes them stay relevant over the years. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is no different. In this series, I aim to give both myself and you all a better understanding of this mystifying TCG. Everyone take a seat, it's time for game design in Yu-Gi-Oh!
And hello everyone, welcome to honestly one of the probably last episodes of this. We're kind of getting close to the end here. There's not a whole lot else that I at least have down in my notes. There's going to be more that I learn along the ways, in which case I will come back and pass this knowledge along to you all. But as far as my notes are concerned, this whole book isn't all notes. Some of it is level designs for different games I've worked on and notes for other classes. But as far as the notes for game design stuff in there, we're kind of reaching the end. On that note,
I'm not a game designer, I'm just a student. You can take whatever I say with a grain of salt. This is all stuff I've learned, and I'm reteaching myself to get it better in my head and to pass along knowledge on to you all.
My number one source here is going to be Rules of Play by Katie Salen and Eric Zimmerman. Highly suggested if you're interested in any of this. Anyway, today's topics are degenerate strategies and saddle points. One of these are something you all are probably already familiar with because I've mentioned degenerate strategies in talking about Mystic Mind almost any time it comes up. Saddle points you might not know. So the technical game design definition for degenerate strategy, at least according to my notes and probably again according to the book Rules of Play by Katie Salen and Eric Zimmerman, when people find means to get through a game in a way that A, the designer did not intend, and B, allows them to bypass the challenge and struggle within a game, the player effectively loses the meaning of the game. In Yu-Gi-Oh, right? The point of the game and the challenge of the game and the struggle in our game is to beat your opponent. Decking out Exodia, Destiny board, life points to 0. Kind of it. Or a prize card that says when you attack, you win the match, whatever. There are, ways to go about this to heighten your ways and to increase your chances of winning a game here. But a degenerate strategy is just something like Mystic Mind. If you Mystic Mind, Field Barrier, and then Prohibition, that's a degenerate strategy. That completely bypasses all challenge you have. And you can make the argument that Mystic Mind players still have to worry about, if you get that combination and you Prohibition, but you call Cosmic Cyclone instead of Twin Twisters or Mystical Space Typhoon, you can make the argument that there's still some level of struggle in there, but you're wrong. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean to any Mystic Mind players out there, and I'm terribly sorry if anyone takes offense to this. But the thing is, the instant you stop your opponent from playing the game, you have entered into this into this realm of you have bypassed the challenge and the struggle of the game. Granted, some control decks can still fit under this. Altergeist, Guru can fit under this umbrella of the Part B, which allows them to bypass the challenge and struggle. However, when Konami was designing these cards, I'm pretty sure they intended for some of the ways and some of the stuff here. Mystic Mind specifically, I can't imagine, at least it's kind of hard for me to imagine that Konami was specifically thinking about, oh, hey, we'll give them this, and then they'll be able to use this card and then this old card, and they'll come together, and it'll just stop the opponent from playing. I also just think that's really bad game design. The point of designing a game is you want people to play it. If you're designing a solo game like Pac-Man, it has evolved to be a co-op game, but as intended, it's a one-person game, so you can kind of design that for one person to play. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very much a two-player game. So if they design Mystic Mind within their minds for players to use Field Barrier and God of Skulls Oracle and Prohibition, all these other strategies and stuff in mind, if they designed the card with these in mind and intended for this to happen, I would say that's bad game design because they are intentionally designing something to prevent someone else from playing the game. And that's not what you want to do. When you're designing a game, kind of the last thing you want to do is intentionally alienate people. There should be an asterisk there because some games just aren't meant for some people. M-rated games are not meant for children. A game like chess is probably not meant for a child either, mostly because there's small pieces that the child could swallow. Games like Minecraft aren't really meant for people who need fast action and fast-paced games. Like, I know a lot of people who love Call of Duty, first-person shooters, stuff like that, but they can't stand Minecraft because it's just not geared to the way their brain functions. Like, it doesn't click with them. But like that is just not an intention. That's just a change. That's just a difference of opinions. Like, some people like different other games. Kind of going off of the tangent back to the main point. If Konami designed Mystic Mind the way they did with the current strategies and stuff in mind when they were building it, that's not good game design. That means that they were intentionally wanting people to play this strategy and intentionally wanting people to stop other people from playing the game. And kind of, as I realized this, I started to cut Mystic Mind out of my decks. Like, I had a couple copies. I like sold and traded them off. Like, I've wiped my hands with Mystic Mind. I don't use it anymore. But I would argue that Mystic Mind is a degenerate strategy. And Altergeist and Guru can both be thrown in there. I would say those are both gray areas because the way they play, I'm pretty sure Konami intended for them to play that way. Whereas it's kind of hard for me to imagine that Konami imagined Mystic Mind, playing. And then there's other stun decks that can be pretty degenerate. The Vanity stun decks, again, with the way those cards are designed, it's hard for me to imagine Konami didn't intend for those cards to be played that way. So again, Vanity Stun, I would say, is kind of a gray area, but I think Mystic Mind is like the one true degenerate strategy in this game because, just again, I can't imagine Konami designed that card with the intention of stopping people from playing the game. I think that's bad game design. You can argue with me all you want, and like if you do think I'm wrong or if you do have an argument, I highly encourage you to say so in the comments so we can start up a conversation, have a transaction of ideas to, come to some sort of a consensus or just agree to disagree. Please leave in the comments if you disagree. But my personal stance, Mystic Mind is the one true, by definition, degenerate strategy in this game. There's a bunch of stuff that's really shitty and allows people to bypass the challenge and struggle of the game, which is 50% of this degenerate strategy definition. So there's a lot of decks that can hit the 50% mark. But without rounding up that 50%, I would say Mystic Mind is the one true degenerate strategy here. So almost polar opposite here, we have what are called saddle points, okay? Saddle points are the optimal way to solve a game. Boom, that probably just flew up the screen. So what does that mean? Well, once a saddle point is discovered, there is no reason for players to play the game any other way. For example, okay, my friends and I are actually designing a board game. Hey, this is big channel announcement that's coming at some point. My friends and I are designing a board game, and we had the board layout, and it was really wonderful. And then we realized that there was what we call the optimal path. There was a route players could take that there's no reason to not travel that path. And once we discovered that, we had to try to think of ways to block the path or kind of stop it, because we had a playtest or 2 or 3 where everyone who played it just took that optimal path. And it was very quick, and there's no interaction between the players. It was kind of stale. So we tried to work around that. We were able to catch it early. Granted, there might still be some kind of saddle point in the game once we release it, but we've done almost everything we can to try to prevent that optimal way of beating the game. Game is still in the works, so there's still potential for more saddle points to be found and more ways for people to be degenerate about it, but as of right now, it's in the works, and as of right now, we've squashed the one true optimal path in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's going to be kind of weird because again, we're at 10,000 plus cards. So the optimal point is just how quickly you can win. And right now, with the way Yu-Gi-Oh works, with power creeping and new cards being introduced and ban lists, the saddle points kind of change. Like a year ago, it was Orcust, Thunder Dragon, Sky Strikers, Salamangreat. That was just kind of it. Now it's Eldritch, it's Dogmatica, it's Adamancipator, it's Numeron, and all these combo stuff. Infernoble Knight's kind of reaching up in there. So you get the saddle points kind of change. That's kind of why I like the ban list, because it changes the meta. It's supposed to change the meta. The unban list didn't do anything, but hopefully in September, the unban list that comes, because we're not going to get a ban list in September, hopefully the unban list in September does something. But that's a saddle point just is the best possible way to play a game to ensure that you win. That's kind of all I have for y'all. Shorter episode, kind of, but short topics. Let me know what y'all think. Again, if you guys have any arguments for the Degenerate strategy, or if you have any arguments for the saddle point thing, please leave it in the comments. Let's have a conversation. I want to get people more used to conversing about stuff rather than thinking, oh no, you're wrong, and then just kind of moving on with their lives. We need to be able to converse with one another just as human beings. But that's life philosophies aside. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun bullshit, and I'll see y'all next time. So yeah, shorter episode, kind of like super easy concepts to grasp, and yeah, I have a board game in the works, so more information on that will come later. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.